Welcome to AP Physics with Emma Listy. Today we're going to be talking about collisions. There are two things you should understand about collisions. In order for a collision to be completely inelastic, the two things colliding have to stick together. And in order for a collision to be completely elastic, they have to bounce and kinetic energy has to be conserved.
Now let's do an example problem. So in this example we have two carts that are going to collide, and we're going to try and figure out what kind of collision is happening. So this first cart is moving to the right, which is we're going to call the positive direction, and it's moving at 10 meters per second, and the second cart is at rest. So after they collide, the 10 kilogram cart is now moving to the left at 2.5 meters per second, so we're going to call that the negative direction. And we don't really know what the velocity of this cart is after the collision. So in order to figure out if energy is conserved or not, we have to find the velocity of this cart. And we're going to do that by using this equation because momentum is conserved in all collisions when there's no outside forces acting on them. Because in this example, there's no friction, so there's no outside force acting on it. So we plug in what we know, and we're solving for the velocity of this cart, and we get positive 5 meters per second. So we know this cart is moving to the right at 5 meters per second after the collision.
Okay, so now that we know about velocity of this car after the collision, we need to look at energy so we can determine what kind of collision this is. So kinetic energy equals 1/2 mv squared, so we're going to find the energy before the collision and then the energy after the collision. When we find the energy before, it's 500 joules. The energy after, plugging in the velocity that we solved for, that Christy showed you how to find, we get 218.75 joules. So 500 joules does not equal 218.75 joules. Energy was lost in this collision. So we can conclude that the collision is partially inelastic. And that is AP Physics with Emma Listy.